Listen, vision is not a wish. Vision is conviction with pictures. Say it out loud. Vision is not a mood swing. It is the photograph your heart carries because your purpose has taken the picture. Proverbs 29:18 says, where there is no vision, the people perish. Another translation says, cast off restraint. That means when you can't see purpose, you cannot stay focused. You wander, you worry, you waste. Write this down. Conviction is the restraint of vision. Conviction keeps you from dating distractions. Our modern dilemma is this: split personality between God told me and I just want it. One week it's the Lord, the next week it's a trend. By Friday it's a podcast. By Monday it's anxiety. That double heart creates delays, detours, and endless pivoting, and you call it being led, but it's really being tossed. James said a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. Listen, family, confusion is expensive. Confusion creates motion without progress. You can run in place so hard you sweat through your destiny and still be standing in the same spot. Clarity is not a feeling, clarity is a principle. Feelings fluctuate, principles govern. So I am not giving you superstition tonight. We are not throwing fleeces like Gideon to see whether the dew agrees with our appetite. We are not waiting on 3 red cars at the intersection to confirm a business. We will use a purpose-based test, an internal framework that exposes whether your idea is an assignment or an appetite. Say this with me. I don't need a sign, I need a source. Because here is the law. Vision becomes trustworthy when it is powered by conviction, and conviction is the evidence of purpose. Before you test the vision, you must locate the source, purpose. Purpose is why you were born. It is older than your parents and stronger than your preferences. Before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee, Jeremiah 1:5. That means purpose precedes biology. Conviction is simply your spirit remembering what God already decided. When purpose is present, conviction appears. And when conviction appears, the picture of tomorrow stops arguing with today's opinions. Let me correct the atmosphere. Stop promoting hunger as holiness. Appetite can shout. Assignment can whisper. Appetite wants applause. Assignment wants accuracy. Appetite rushes. Assignment roots. Genesis 1:28 still governs your work. Be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth and subdue it and have dominion. Fruitfulness begins with purpose, not with wishing. The world doesn't purchase your fantasies. The world purchases your fruit. Here's your first action. Ask not, do I like this idea, but does this idea come from the reason I exist? Say it. Source before strategy. When your source is purpose, conviction will pay your focus bills. When conviction pays, vision stops being a daydream and becomes an agenda. And once it's an agenda, anxiety loses its appointment. We start here because once you find the why, the what will stop arguing, the when will stop drifting, and the how will introduce itself. Leadership is the capacity to influence others through inspiration, not manipulation. Inspiration is generated by a passion. Passion is ignited by a vision. Vision is birthed from a deep conviction. Conviction is produced by a sense of purpose. Write that down. Now hear this. You have to turn this sentence upside down and start from the bottom. Say it. Start from purpose. If you begin at purpose, conviction stabilizes. If conviction stabilizes, vision clarifies. If vision clarifies, passion ignites. If passion ignites, inspiration flows. If inspiration flows, influence appears. And leadership is simply the fruit. This is why Proverbs 19:21 declares, many are the plans in a man's heart, nevertheless the counsel of the Lord that shall stand. Plans float, purpose stands. Our generation is exhausted because we are trying to climb a ladder that's leaning against the wrong wall. We chase influence without substance, titles without weight, platforms without roots, money without meaning. And the work collapses because it has no spiritual gravity. Except the Lord build a house, they labor in vain that build it. Psalm 127:1. Vanity builds fast and breaks faster. Manipulation is a shortcut to applause. Inspiration is the long road to authority. Write it. Weight comes from why, not from how loud. Purpose is not your job. It is your original intent. Purpose is why you were born. Work is how you express it. Your employment may change every 5 years. Your purpose does not expire. Ephesians 2:10 says, for we are his workmanship, created in Christ Jesus unto good works, which God hath before ordained. Before ordained means your purpose predates your resume. Your job is a vehicle. Your purpose is the destination. The world doesn't eat your title. The world eats your fruit. Be fruitful, then multiply, then replenish, then subdue, then have dominion. Genesis 1:28 is still the operating system. When you don't know purpose, you start shopping for identities. Every quarter, a new brand color, a new niche, a new mentor, a new course, a new bio. No roots, just costumes. You burn money printing business cards for someone you are not yet committed to be. Stop changing your major every season. Find a reason you exist and major in that. Are you hearing me? Identity is not a boutique. It is a birthplace. I sat with a young designer, let's call her Lila, who rebranded 6 times in 12 months. New logo, new slogan, new promise, same confusion. When we dug beneath the products, we found grief. She wanted to restore dignity to overlooked artisans. Because her grandmother stitched beauty in obscurity. That was purpose. The day she named it, her conviction rose like concrete. She built one line that told that story. The vision stopped arguing. Passion returned. Clients felt inspired, not sold to. Influence followed. All things work together for good to them that love God, to them who are the called according to his purpose. Romans 8:28. According to his purpose, not according to your panic. Here is the transition. Once purpose is established, conviction becomes measurable. You can count its cost, track its consistency, test its resistance to opinions. Say it. Purpose first, then proof. Now we can test it. Now we test it. Write this down. 3 questions that end second guessing. Number 1, does it solve a real problem? Number 2, does it demand my gift? Number 3, does it produce fruit for others? Say it with me. Need, gift, fruit. If an idea cannot pass these 3, it is not an assignment, it is entertainment. Many are the plans in a man's heart. Nevertheless, the counsel of the Lord that shall stand. Proverbs 19:21. Counsel shows up in problems. Every problem is a business, and more than that, every problem is a calling indicator. Needs reveal assignments. Cravings reveal distractions. Appetite asks, what do I want? Assignment asks, whose pain did God design me to heal? When Nehemiah heard that the walls were broken, he wept, he fasted, he built. The problem announced his project. Question 1, does it solve a real problem? Not a manufactured urgency, not a trending hashtag, a measurable pain. If your city's mothers cannot find safe after school hours, that is a need. If small shops can't track inventory and keep losing money, that is a need. If young men lack mentorship and drift into violence, that is a need. Joseph did not sell dreams, he solved hunger. Jesus fed the 5,000 because hunger is not a theory. Jesus was moved with compassion. Matthew 14:14. Compassion is the emotion of purpose. Write it. If no one is relieved, it is not an assignment. Every problem is a business. Go find your problem. Question 2, does it demand my gift? Gifts are not hobbies. Gifts are tools given to serve. As every man hath received the gift, even so minister the same one to another. 1 Peter 4:10. Your gift is the instrument God trusted you with to meet a need. If the idea can be executed by anyone with a YouTube tutorial, it may not be your assignment. David could not wear Saul's armor. He used what fit his grace. 1 Samuel is 17. Your gift has fingerprints, distinct thinking, uncommon ease, unusual results. If your idea doesn't require that wiring, you're imitating. Write this down. When my gift is absent, my endurance will be absent. Assignment is heavy. Only your true gift has the bones to carry it. Question 3, does it produce fruit for others? Fruit is tangible value. The world can consume products, outcomes, transform lives, measurable improvements. By their fruits ye shall know them, Matthew 7:20. Herein is my Father glorified, that ye bear much fruit, John 15:8. Testimonials, test scores rising, time saved, money multiplied, marriages healed, systems stabilized, fruit has receipts. The world doesn't eat seeds, the world eats fruit. Ideas are seeds. Assignments become orchards. Be fruitful, then multiply, then replenish, then subdue, then have dominion. Genesis 1:28 is still the blueprint. Now hear the bridge. When an idea meets a real need, demands your distinct gift, and produces fruit beyond you, beyond your ego, beyond your pockets, it is likely an assignment. But likely is not yet law. Next, we must verify the evidence called conviction cost. You are willing to pay consistency you cannot shake and resistance to opinions that cannot move you. Pass the purpose test today. In a moment, we will check the receipts of conviction. Conviction is an internal law that refuses to negotiate. It is the code your spirit obeys when nobody claps, the command that overrides your moods and your mentions. The Lord God will help me, therefore have I set my face like a flint, Isaiah 50:7. Write this down. Conviction is the receipt of purpose, proof of purchase in the invisible if it costs nothing and changes with opinions. It's not conviction. Say it. Conviction is my evidence. Indicator number 1, persistence without applause. When it's an assignment, it won't leave you alone. It stalks you through seasons. It comes back like winter, like harvest, like a recurring dream. Jeremiah said, his word was in my heart like a burning fire shut up in my bones. I was weary of holding it back. Jeremiah 20:9. That is seed behavior. It keeps returning, pressing to germinate. Write it. If it only lives when the crowd is loud, it's not conviction. If it lives when the room is empty, check the assignment. Indicator number 2, willingness to pay a price. Conviction does not bargain. Conviction invests. Wishful thinking says, when it gets cheap, I'll obey. Conviction says, if it costs, I'll pay. David declared, I will not offer to the Lord that which costs me nothing. 2 Samuel 24:24. You can measure conviction by invoices, time, study, discipline, mentorship, cash flow, reputation. If the idea collapses when it requires tuition, coaching fees, prototypes, early mornings, late edits, it was a mood. Write this down. Opinions are free. Obedience is expensive. If it costs nothing and changes with opinions, it's not conviction. Indicator number 3, inner rest under external pressure. Peace is not the absence of warfare. It is the presence of alignment. Jesus slept in a storm, Mark 4:38, because his assignment was not to drown, but to deliver. Philippians 4:7 calls it the peace of God, which passeth all understanding. Under deadlines, under doubt, under noise, there is a river in your belly that says, keep building. Your pulse may rise, but your heart remains anchored. Say it. Pressure outside, peace inside. That is evidence. Indicator number 4, consistency across environments. Whether you are abased or abound, you still want to build the same fire in a studio apartment or a corner office. Paul said, I have learned in whatsoever state I am, therewith to be content. I know both how to be abased and I know how to abound. Philippians 4:11-12. Joseph interprets dreams in a palace and in a prison. Genesis 40:41. Assignment doesn't need perfect weather. It finds a way. Write it down. Real conviction is a thermostat, not a thermometer. It sets the climate. It does not report it. So here's the verdict. If it persists without applause, if you are willing to pay, if peace outlives pressure, if consistency survives conditions, you are holding a receipt from purpose. Conviction births vision. But hear me. Once vision is born, it must be protected from the enemy called sight. Your eyes will argue with your future. In the next moment, we will silence them. The greatest enemy of your vision is your eyes. Write that down. Your eyes are wonderful servants and terrible leaders. For we walk by faith, not by sight. 2 Corinthians 5:7. Sight reports present facts. Vision reports future truth. Sight tells you what is, vision tells you what must be. Sight is a reporter, vision is a ruler. God told Habakkuk, write the vision and make it plain. Habakkuk 2:2. He didn't say write the facts. He said write the future. Say it, my eyes inform, my vision commands. Here is how sight betrays you. It creates reasonable disobedience. You look at the bank account and cancel the blueprint. You hear your family's fear and mute your father's voice. You consult the economy and disobey your assignment. Numbers 13 says, 10 spies saw giants and said, we were in our own sight as grasshoppers. Did you catch that? They didn't lose the land. They lost their vision to their eyes. Peter walked on water while looking at Jesus. The moment he looked at the wind, he began to sink. Matthew 14:30, write this down. What you look at will lead you. If you let sight lead, fear will budget your destiny. Safety can become a sophisticated form of fear, comfortable, logical, and disobedient. Entrepreneurs are future livers. They live in pictures before products. They build factories while the ground is still mud. They lease warehouses when the shelves are empty. They talk distribution when all they have is a kitchen recipe. People call them crazy because they are living from a photograph others haven't developed yet. Noah, being warned of God of things not seen as yet, moved with fear, prepared an ark, Hebrews 11:7. He built for a forecast nobody else believed. They laughed at the blueprint until it started raining. Tell your neighbor, they always laugh at the future until the future arrives. Now, the application. Stop asking, is it safe? And start asking, is it purpose? Safety, ask, will I be embarrassed? Purpose, ask, will God be obeyed? Safety says, what if I fail? Purpose says, what if they remain unfed? Sight asks, what do the numbers say today? Vision asks, what will the fruit say tomorrow? Write this down. Obedience is my risk management. If it's purpose, step. If it's ego, wait. Your next step is not to mortgage a house. Your next step is to move the seed, prototype one version, serve 10 real people, collect honest feedback, refine. That is walking by faith with data, not by sight with drama. Protect your leadership from your eyes. Feed your vision daily. Read your purpose statement aloud. Rehearse the picture, schedule solitude, expose yourself to models who already built what you see. While we look not at the things which are seen, but at the things which are not seen. 2 Corinthians 4:18. Train your eyes to serve your assignment. Let them measure, not manage. Let them count, not command. Vision must lead, sight must confirm. Now that your eyes are dethroned, we must inspect the throne room of the heart, because motives can wear, visions close, appetite and anxiety can impersonate assignment. Search me, O God, and know my heart, Psalm 139:23. In the next movement, we will audit the motive, assignment versus appetite versus anxiety, so your vision remains pure and your steps unstoppable. Now we audit the heart. 3 counterfeit drivers masquerade as assignment: appetite, anxiety, and imitation. Appetite is ego, dressed like vision, image over impact, applause over accuracy. Anxiety is fear of missing out, sounding like urgency, deadlines God didn't set, clocks, culture imposed. Imitation is trying to rent another man's grace-borrowing armor that doesn't fit your bones. For the Lord seeth not as man seeth. For man looketh on the outward appearance, but the Lord looketh on the heart. 1 Samuel 16:7. Write this down. A pure motive produces endurance. An impure motive produces urgency, comparison, and quitting. Let's expose appetite. Appetite asks, will they notice me? Assignment asks, will they be nourished? Appetite spends on branding before it spends on building. Appetite wants a launch date. Assignment wants a life changed. Jesus made himself of no reputation. Philippians 2:7. Yet fed multitudes service before status. If you feel constant pressure to post, to announce, to be seen, check your motive. Galatians 1:10 confronts us. Do I seek to please men? For if I yet please men, I should not be the servant of Christ. Say it. I choose service over status. Now, anxiety. Isaiah 28:16 says, he that believeth shall not make haste. Faith has a cadence, panic has a countdown. Anxiety compares your chapter 2 to someone's chapter 20 and shames you into shortcuts. It pushes you to plant in any soil just to say you planted, then blames God when nothing grows. Be careful for nothing, Philippians 4:6, where anxiety rules, quitting waits at the corner, because anything birthed by hurry dies from hurry. Write this down. If speed is my God, burnout is my prophet. Imitation next. David refused Saul's armor, 1 Samuel 17:39, because assignment has measurements. Having then gifts differing according to the grace that is given to us, Romans 12:6. When you imitate, you chase another's audience while abandoning your assignment's beneficiaries. You copy their tone, their template, their timeline, then wonder why their results won't appear in your field. Grace does not transfer by copying, it transfers by calling. Say it, I won't wear costumes, I will wear calling. Here are your audit questions. Write them down and answer them before God. If nobody knows my name, would I still do it? If it takes 5 years, will I still build it? If money is slow, will I still serve? Luke 16:10, he that is faithful in that which is least is faithful also in much. Habakkuk 2-3, though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. These questions crucify appetite, calm anxiety, and expose imitation. If your yes evaporates when the crowd is silent, you found appetite. If your yes expires when time stretches, you found anxiety. If your yes exists only when you sound like them, you found imitation. Hear me with love. Stop using God told me to baptize impatience. Prove all things. Hold fast that which is good. 1 Thessalonians 5:21. Purpose is proven by process and fruit, not vocabulary. By their fruits ye shall know them. Matthew 7:20. If God said it, it can survive testing. If God birthed it, it can wait its appointed time. If God authored it, it will feed somebody besides your ego. Say it out loud. A pure motive produces endurance. I renounce urgency, comparison, and quitting. When the motive is purified, the seed is ready for development. And the world does not eat seeds, the world eats fruit. Next, we move from heart to hands, from idea to incarnation, because purpose gives the seed, but responsibility must produce the fruit. From heart to hands, hear me now, when God demands something from you, it exists. Write that down. But most times it exists as seed, not as fruit. While the earth remaineth, seed time and harvest shall not cease. Genesis 8:22. Seed time first, then harvest. God gives ideas, not finished products. He gives acorns, not furniture. Your job is development. Say it, I turn gifts into value. Seeds are private, small, and invisible to the crowd. Fruit is public, visible, and edible. A seed lives in your notebook. Fruit lives in the marketplace. A seed wakes you up at 3 a.m. Fruit wakes somebody else up to pay you. The world doesn't eat seeds. The world eats fruit. Jesus said, except a corn of wheat fall into the ground and die, it abideth alone. John 12:24. If you keep your idea in your head, it abides alone. No customers, no testimonies, no transformation. Purpose gives you the seed. Responsibility must produce the fruit. Here's the mistake we keep making. We present seeds to the market. Raw talent with no process. Vague vision boards with no prototype. Spiritual talk with no tangible outcome. We say, God told me, but we never told a manufacturer. We shout, I'm called to teach, but we haven't designed a course outline with measurable results. We have a recipe, but no label. A message, but no module. A song, but no studio plan. Listen, the market is not your prayer partner. The market is hungry. Give it food, produce something, package it, test it, improve it. Write this down. Development law. Convert identity into inventory. What is inventory? Anything your gift turns into value. Curriculum, consulting, frameworks, software, soaps, coaching cohorts, children's books, training systems, documentaries, designs. Start small, make it edible. Proverbs 24:27 says, Prepare thy work without, and make it fit for thyself in the field, and afterwards build thine house. Prepare it, fit it, feel it, prototype in the field before you build an empire in your mind. Execution, blueprint, step by step. Number 1, define the problem your seed solves in 1 sentence. Number 2, design 1 small offering that solves it for 10 real people, no fanfare, just service. Number 3, package it so it travels without you. Documents, templates, recorded lessons, a bottle with a label, a page with a price. Number 4, test it. Gather honest feedback. Measure outcomes, time saved, money made, pain removed. Number 5, improve it. Iterate until it works without your personality carrying it. Then do it again. Produce something. Package it. Test it. Improve it. Now lift your eyes to the operating system. Genesis 1:28 is still the sequence. Be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth and subdue it and have dominion. Fruit first, create the product. Multiply, replicate the system. Replenish, build distribution so it keeps showing up. Subdue, standardize, and control quality, pricing, and placement. Then dominion on the category. That's sustainability. That's kingdom order. Purpose gave you the seed. Responsibility will make it fruit. Now move. Genesis 1:28 is not a poem. It is a product roadmap. And God blessed them. And God said unto them, be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth and subdue it and have dominion. Say it with me slow. Be fruitful, multiply, replenish, subdue, have dominion. Write this down. 5 laws that confirm purpose. This is the verse the world is using while the church is praying about it. Bill Gates didn't quote it, but he used it. McDonald's didn't preach it, but they practice it. Meanwhile, we speak in tongues and sell nothing. I am not against prayer. I am against prayer without production. Purpose aligns with this sequence. Real vision becomes fruit, then scale, then distribution, then market control, then dominion. Fruitful create value. That means a product, a service, an outcome, something we can consume and measure. Did a mother sleep because your system organized her life? Did a small store grow margins because your software cut waste? Herein is my Father glorified, that ye bear much fruit. John 15:8. No fruit, no confirmation. If all you have is a logo, that's not fruit. If all you have is a live stream, that's not fruit. Fruit is value in a package that works when you are not in the room. Multiply, replicate the value systems. If it only works when you touch it, it's a miracle. When it works when trained people touch it, it's a business. McDonald's can cook a predictable burger in Tokyo and Trinidad because the system multiplies the fruit. Write it down. If it lives in your head, it cannot multiply. Document it, template it, train it, license it. If it won't replicate, you have a craft, not a company. Replenish, distribution, reach, and access. Can it keep showing up? Can people find it without finding you? Jesus said, go ye into all the world. Mark 16:15. That's a distribution mandate. Build channels, e-commerce, partnerships, wholesale, franchises, digital platforms. If there is no replenishment, demand dies thirsty. The best product undistributed is invisible. The best message undelivered is silent. Subdue market control, set the standards, shape the pricing, define the category. That's not arrogance, that's stewardship of excellence. Apple subdues by creating ecosystems. Pepsi pays for shelf space to control proximity. Toyota subdues with reliability standards. Write this down. Subdue means your way becomes the way others must acknowledge. If you cannot influence the rules of the space, you are still a guest at another man's table. Have dominion, recognize authority in a defined domain. Your name becomes shorthand for a solution. We Google answers. We ask for a Kleenex. Dominion is when your fruit multiplied and replenished consistently subdues until the market crowns you. Deuteronomy 8:18, it is he that giveth thee power to get wealth, that he may establish his covenant. Dominion is covenant confirmed in a category. Now the diagnostic. Run your idea through the 5. Can it become fruit? If not, it's inspiration, not assignment yet. Can it multiply? If not, systematize. Can it replenish? If not, build channels. Can it subdue? If not, sharpen differentiation and standards. If it cannot travel this path, it is underdeveloped or misaligned. Don't throw it away, develop it. Produce something, package it, test it, improve it. Here is the transition. Dominion demands mastery, and mastery demands a domain. Stop being general, pick your lane, perfect your lane, and let the 5 laws carry you to the crown. In a moment, I'm going to ask you a question the market is already asking. What's your whopper? Dominion is not a miracle. It is the reward of mastery in a defined domain. Write that down. You were born to master something, not everything. Seest thou a man diligent in his business, he shall stand before kings, Proverbs 22:29. Kings don't invite dabblers, they summon masters. Everybody sells burgers, but dominion belongs to the one with the whopper, the distinct, defensible, differentiated offering that makes the market call your name first. Tell your neighbor, stop selling burgers, find your whopper. Mastery is a spiritual obligation because subdue requires standards, and standards require skill. Be fruitful, multiply, replenish, subdue, have dominion. You can't subdue a space you haven't studied. You can't have dominion over a domain you won't define. James 1:8 says, a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. Confusion creates scattered offerings and weak results. Conviction gives focus. Conviction says no to 90 good ideas so you can say yes to the assignment that makes you necessary. Say it. Focus is holy. Now the practical narrowing. Write this down. 3 clarifiers that make you first in mind. Number 1, audience. Whom do you serve specifically? Not everybody with a pulse. Be precise. First-time mothers returning to work. Family-owned grocers under $5M. Teenagers struggling with calculus. Pastors planning churches in urban cores. Number 2, outcome. What measurable transformation do they receive? Not inspiration. Define the fruit. 10 extra hours a week saved, 20% inventory waste reduced, a B turned into an A, 200, member launch in 6 months. Number 3, signature method. By what repeatable process do you deliver it? A named framework, a recipe, a curriculum, a protocol, the way you do it that others can't fake. Specialize until the market thinks of you first. When we hear that problem, we should see your face. Write it, audience, outcome, method. Let me illustrate. A young consultant in our community, called him Daniel, stopped selling business coaching and named his whopper the Cash 30 Clean Out, a 30-day protocol for small grocers to plug leaks and raise margins by 12-18%. Audience, small grocers. Outcome, margin, lifted receipts, method, Cash 30 Clean Out. He documented it, trained others, multiplied it, replenished it through partnerships with regional distributors, then began to subdue pricing conversations in his space because his method set the standard. Be fruitful, multiply, replenish, subdue. Dominion followed. Are you getting this? Tiger Woods does not play 50 sports. He masters his domain. Oprah does not host for everybody. She curates for a defined conversation. Write this down. You were born to master something. 2 Timothy 1-6. Stir up the gift of God which is in thee. Stir it until it becomes a standard. Turn your gift into a signature. What's your whopper? Name it, package it, train it, protect it. I know what's whispering right now, fear of commitment. What if I choose wrong? What if I miss opportunities? Listen, generalists fear exclusion. Masters enjoy distinction. Paul said, I therefore so run, not as uncertainly. So fight I, not as one that beateth the air. 1 Corinthians 9:26. Commitment will attract tests, not confusion. Real vision will be resisted. That resistance will confirm what focus has chosen. In a moment, expect the wind to blow, not to stop you, but to certify you. Now hear me like a father. Every true vision will be tested. Write that down. Pressure does not mean it's not God. Pressure often proves it is. A great door for effective work has opened to me, and there are many adversaries. 1 Corinthians 16:9. Open doors attract opposition. James 1-3 says, the trying of your faith worketh patience. Test works something into you that comfort never can. Say it. Resistance refines. Confusion confines. Differentiate this carefully. Tests and warnings are not the same. Tests produce perseverance and refinement. Your character expands. Your system sharpens. Your message clarifies. Warnings produce restraint. They check your motives and ethics and pull you back from sin, shortcuts, or presumption. God is not the author of confusion, 1 Corinthians 14:33. So when the noise in your head produces fog, panic, and double-mindedness, treat it as misalignment or immaturity. Pause, purify, and realign. But when opposition meets a clear assignment and your inner peace remains, that's a test. Press through with wisdom. I must prepare you for the 3 or 4 different hells that certify real vision. Number 1, delays. Delays develop timing, patience, and process. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. Habakkuk 2-3. God uses waiting rooms to build weight rooms. While you wait, you document, you prototype, you strengthen what breaks under hurry. Number 2, criticism. Critics sharpen clarity. Nehemiah faced Sanballat and Tobiah and kept building with a sword in one hand and a trowel in the other. Criticism forces you to refine your message, define your audience, and anchor your why. Write it. Let hecklers make my headlines sharper. Number 3, lack of funds. Money tests creativity, stewardship, and partnerships. He that is faithful in little is faithful in much. Luke 16:10. Start with what you have. Moses had a rod. The widow had oil. Package small, price wisely, prove outcomes, and let receipts attract resources. Constraint is a mentor. Waste is a thief. Number 4, betrayal. Betrayal purifies motives, strengthens boundaries, and teaches system independence. Jesus had Judas and still finished his assignment. John 13. Build so your fruit does not collapse when a friend turns foe. Forgive fast, fortify faster. Document roles, secure access, protect the recipe. Do not interpret difficulty as divine rejection. Interpret it as development toward fruit. Beloved, think it not strange concerning the fiery trial which is to try you. 1 Peter 4:12. Trials try you so your fruit can be trusted. If you faint in the day of adversity, your strength is small. Proverbs 24:10. If you endure, your dominion grows. Now to clear the fog, here's a simple decision path. Write it down. 1, rerun the purpose test, need, gift, fruit. If yes, proceed. 2, check the conviction indicators. Persistence, price, peace, consistency. If present, proceed. 3, name the current test, delay, criticism, funds, betrayal, and practice the matching discipline process, clarity, creativity, boundaries. 4, choose one deliverable with a date attached, prototype, pilot, partnership, or policy, and execute. In a moment, I'll give you the full 4-step framework to move today. For now, settle this in your spirit. Opposition confirms assignment. Confusion signals alignment work. Walk through the test. Don't talk yourself out of purpose. Here is the framework I promise you. Clarity becomes power when you convert it into decisions, deliverables, and systems. Not someday today. Step 1, write your purpose statement in 1 sentence. Keep it concrete. The need you serve, plus the gift you deploy, plus the fruit you produce. Write the vision and make it plain. Habakkuk 2:2. Plain means testable. Example, I serve first-time mothers returning to work by organizing their routines through my planning system so they gain 10 hours a week of peace. That's need, gift, fruit. If you cannot state it, you cannot scale it. Put it where your eyes will meet it every morning. Read it aloud until your day submits. Step 2, identify conviction proof. Decide now what sacrifices you are willing to make and what boundaries you will never cross. Daniel purposed in his heart that he would not defile himself. Daniel 1-8. Purpose produces lines. What costs will you embrace early mornings, coaching fees, prototype expenses, public feedback? Which of you, intending to build a tower, sit it not down first and counted the cost? Luke 14:28. And where are your no's? No lying about outcomes, no predatory pricing, no mission drift for quick applause. Let your yes be yes and your no, no. Matthew 5:37. Write your sacrifices and write your safeguards. Conviction needs both a cross and a fence. Step 3, define the first fruit, the smallest deliverable the market can consume in 30 days. Not a dream, a deliverable. A pilot cohort for 10 people. A one-page offer with a clear promise. A working prototype. A micro event. A 4-session service package. I have chosen you and ordained you that ye should go and bring forth fruit. John 15:16. Choose one, set a date, attach a metric. 30 days forces focus and reveals truth. In 30 days, you can field test, gather testimonials, and refine. The world will not eat your notes. Give it bread it can taste. Step 4, choose a multiplication strategy. If this works, how will it work without your constant presence, system, team, automation, licensing, or training? Moses learned to multiply himself by structure. Exodus 18:21-23. Paul trained Timothy to teach faithful people who would teach others also. 2 Timothy 2:2. Name your path today. Will you document a process, build a small delivery team, automate with software, license your method, or certify others? Pick one lane and begin to build. Multiplication is not accidental. It is engineered. Do this in order and do it now. Purpose sentence, conviction proof, first fruit, multiplication path. Commit your work unto the Lord, and your thoughts shall be established. Proverbs 16:3. And here the transition. Information will start you, but identity will keep you. You cannot sustain execution on notes alone. You need a name in your spirit. In the next breath, we are going to settle who you are. Because when identity locks in, decisions quicken, deliverables appear, and systems endure. Identity settles movement. When identity locks, decisions quicken, deliverables appear, and systems endure. Hear the correction. You are not a consumer looking for a job. You are a producer carrying a solution. We are his workmanship, created in Christ Jesus unto good works, which God has before ordained that we should walk in them. Ephesians 2:10. That verse is deployment language. Ordained means pre-assigned. Write this down. If you don't deploy yourself, you'll be employed by someone else's vision. Employment is honorable, but it is not a replacement for deployment. The king gave you a domain. Be fruitful, multiply, replenish, subdue, have dominion. Producers think like that. Let's reset your mouth, because identity rides on language. Say it out loud. I am necessary. Again, I am necessary. Say it. I am God's response to a need he created. Say it. My gift will produce fruit. Say it. My vision is conviction with pictures. Jeremiah 1:5. Before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee. And before thou camest forth, I sanctified thee. Known, formed, sanctified, then sent. Identity precedes activity, but identity demands activity. Purpose is not permission to brag. It is a mandate to serve and produce measurable value. Herein is my Father glorified, that ye bear much fruit. John 15:8. No fruit, no glory, no measurable change, no confirmation. Now marry identity to responsibility. Your gift is not a mirror to admire. It is a tool to apply. Proverbs 18:16 says, a man's gift maketh room for him. Gifts make room when gifts make results. Write this down. Identity without output becomes idolatry of self. Assignment requires outcomes, time saved, pain removed, revenue raised, souls restored, systems improved. This is not arrogance. This is stewardship. To every man according to his several ability, Matthew 25-15. Ability is measured in fruit, not selfies. Here is the charge. Pick one problem you will solve, one fruit you will produce, one domain you will master, then start before you feel ready. Feelings don't lead, vision leads. In the next 24 hours, write your first fruit and a date. 30 days. Prototype, pilot, or publish. If you don't set a date, you just plan to disobey softly. Habakkuk 2:2. Write the vision and make it plain. Plain means a calendar, a deliverable, and a metric. Choose your lane, name your method, and begin. If it's a course, outline the 4 modules tonight. If it's a product, draft the label and call one supplier. If it's a service, write the promise and recruit 10 testers. Start before you feel ready. Let me pray over you. Father, in Jesus' name, I commission every hearer as a deployed producer. Grant courage to choose, discipline to build, and clarity to stay the course. Purify motives, fortify boundaries, and accelerate fruit. Let ideas become inventory, and inventory become impact. Establish timelines that honor you, and systems that multiply beyond them. Amen. Now write it down. First fruit, due date, and the domain you will master. Say it one more time. I am necessary. I am deployed. I will be fruitful, multiply, replenish, subdue, and have dominion. When you accept this identity, confusion breaks and purpose turns into fruit. Now go produce something.